CNBC sounds really bullish on Palantir nowadays.
Yeah, okay, I'll start.
Palantir is up 22% since August 5th.
And then you can close. You can be the closer.
Let's do it. Right.
So, okay, we talked about software earlier. If you want to talk about software, AI, and execution, Palantir, Palantir, Palantir. This is, like, to me, the only company that's actually taking all this, nebulous conversation around AI and actually executing. And I think that it's still a very under-owned name. The institutional ownership has increased. But I think historically people thought this was a government contracts with the three-letter agencies. Now all of their growth is coming from corporations taking their internal databases and having Palantir saying, hey, this is what you can do better. And I think it's early days for this company on the corporate side. And so this to me continues to be like one of the names to own if you want to have a great AI company that's actually monetizing what everyone's actually talking about.
The execution in terms of pivoting from having a revenue-oriented focus from government towards the commercial segment is absolutely remarkable. I've said this over and over again. This is the most underappreciated AI-adjacent name within the marketplace. It's proven itself in an environment where the rest of software appears to be challenged. It's standing above all of that, and it's delivering, and it did that in the last earnings report. Okay.
Let me know if you guys agree or disagree down in the comments. Now, from my perspective, the retail community around Palantir is not surprised, honestly, if they hear this, especially for those following it very closely. And this was actually alluded to by the first speaker, saying they're still an under-owned name, in her opinion, where the narrative around them being dependent on government contracts has finally changed. She literally said to her that they're the only company making AI real for businesses today, where it's also being recognized that commercial is really the true driver, at least for the current and future growth, at least in my opinion. But obviously the nice government business is cool too when it pops off during that lumpiness. But the second speaker also notes that Palantir continues to prove themselves for real and has done this in their transformation of a government-heavy reputation to actually having a meaningful, proven growth in commercial. And the biggest driver I'd say for the sentiment change is just recognition of them being a true AI name. I think Palantir has continued to operate in a way that, even if underestimated earlier, their execution to continue doing what is working for them, like boot camps, AIPCon events, rolling out the new ways to get your hands on the software. Lots of customers are speaking highly of the software and the products they have, and these aren't Joe Schmoes either that are big enterprises worth tens, if not even hundreds of billions of dollars in valuation. Plus, the number of the latest quarters showing that the slight uptick back into the top line growth into the 20% range again is nice to see too, and having them do that consistently. A lot seems to be going well for Palantir, and the media has picked up on this narrative. Now, personally, this is still short-term thinking for a company with plenty of runway to prove themselves not only financially but technologically too. Definitely a long-term play with lots of volatility ahead in either direction. But I'm not surprised if Palantir keeps getting more media coverage because A, it does grab the attention and is very popular, so it makes sense for them as a business. But also the excitement around their name being a leader of the AI wave that everyone keeps talking about and starts to recognize. It also doesn't hurt too that neither that the stock itself has done well this year, but I'd say this is much more appreciated than getting bagged down. But always the prudent thing to do is continue to do your own due diligence and not get too ahead of yourselves. But what are you happy with holding, buying, selling, or standing on the sidelines with a name like Palantir? It's really up to you and what your risk tolerance is, and you're willing to pay, say, for future growth and execution today. But what are your thoughts below? And I'll see you in the next video.